conference. It was actually a Hispanic guy recruiting for Cummins. And he asked me a very challenging question. I won't tell you what that question is, but it was a scenario really, okay? And it was a scenario that actually required me to sit back and think it through. So exactly that's what I did. I said, please give me a moment to, gather my thoughts and take a quick stab at it. And I sat back, I thought through it, and gave my best answer. I gave the best answer that I could. I didn't know what was really going to happen, but it was a weird question. Because actually, I believe I was working at the conference on the regional exec board, and I just actually passed him, and he just stopped me and asked me the question. I didn't know anything about Cummins at the time. And the next thing you know, I got a call the next evening to come in for an interview in Tennessee. Okay, so that's kind of like one of the stories of how I got involved in Cummins from NSBE. Just kind of a brief overview of, I'm an IT guy, okay? Got a degree in management information systems. I started off in IT at Cummins, okay? You say, well, why do you want to go to an engineering company? You're an IT guy, right? Well, I wanted a little bit different. I didn't want to be a consultant. I didn't want to live out of a suitcase. That wasn't my thing. So I took a role over at Cummins Engineering Company. These folks challenged me. They actually believed in me, and that's actually how I actually joined the family. I started off in IT, moved over to direct material procurement, moved over to human resources, and helped start an organization of what we now call corporate recruiting, which is one of the other reasons why we're here in full force and a BCA sponsor. And then I moved over to our indirect material organization, and now I'm back in IT. And this is an interesting change. It's kind of unusual, right, for an IT person to go over into procurement and go over in HR. But these are the sort of things that Cummins is about, cross-functional abilities. They challenge us. It's something you want to do and you're passionate and strong about it, they got you 100%. They're right behind you. For those of you that was here last night at the opening session and heard Tom Lombarder speak, our president and chief operating officer of the company, that's true. He's a real guy, and our company has real beliefs in diversity. And one of the things is, I want to highlight some of the recruiting efforts and kind of how we go back. We started in this little box, okay? We didn't do much recruiting at the company. Everything was done in its own individual silos. And we kind of thought about it and said, how can we get better at recruiting? Not just diversity recruiting, but recruiting in general. When we started with this little box, and we had to go figure out a way to think outside the box, right? Everybody heard that scenario, thinking outside the box. Well, every time you think outside the box, you get to a point where that box has to get bigger. And that box gets bigger, and now it's expanded in that realm where you now overlapping where you just thought outside the box. So now you have to be creative inside the box. And as we expanded that box and got more creative, we really have a true diversity organization in our company that's all about recruiting high talent. We want people to do the best that they can and actually love the company and love the values and the mission that we represent. And pretty much, overall, that's kind of how we got involved with NSBE, right? Our relationship has grown over the years, and the more that we hire people from NSBE, this box grows. And it allows us even more space and even more different perspectives. And both NSBE and Cummins benefit from that. And this is huge. There's not a lot of companies that, are hiring nowadays, right? There are some that hire a few people here and there. But for me personally, there's a lot of opportunities out there. There's a lot of opportunities ahead of me. And because of these opportunities that were available to me throughout my career so far, I was able to take them, due to my outside of the box thinking, and my connection with NSBE. And I don't want to ever forget that. NSBE has done a lot for me. I've personally done a lot for NSBE. I was a hard-working NSBE person. I worked hard, stayed up late, trying to get involved in everything that I can. And I contribute that to the leadership in this organization and what NSBE represents and carrying that torch as we move forward in life. And, in general, I wish I had all day to talk about this. I can't. I see a lot of opportunities out there, and the one thing people think that we're in a recession. Is this a down economy in the Cummins world? No, it's not. We are trying to hire approximately 3,000 employees globally in the year 2011. So in the next 2 years, we want to become that $35 billion company. Okay, and we need good people. people like you to make that happen. There's a lot of other companies out there in the same boat. They want to grow exponentially. We have to strive in this market. And you just got to search them out. You got to search out that best company that fits you and that's there for you. And you know, that maintains those core values that you believe in. And especially for those who know how to think it through, just like I did in that particular question, we want people like you. We want people like you to actually think it through. Engineering, right? It's a process. It allows you to think. It don't matter what you do. You can be in human resources, finance, you know, IT. The fact that you know how to think is what counts. And so if someone asks you a crazy question or a scenario like that they ask me, think it through and give it your best answer. And hopefully, you'll be working with me soon. Thank you. See you in St. Louis in March.